Today, we're going to be talking about how to prepare for marriage. Now, obviously, this is going to be a talk mostly focused at the young women out there because there has been, for a long time, a disparity in content in the Orthodox online sphere oriented towards women. Hello, everyone, and God bless. This is Father Michael coming with you for another episode of Living Orthodox with
Mother Anna.
And today, we're going to be talking about how to prepare for marriage. What ultimately do you think, Matushka, would be good for the ladies out there to know?
To be very frank, nothing is really going to truly prepare you for marriage. There's no manual that just is one size fits all.
So I can't go to Amazon and order a How to Be a Better Husband book?
Yeah, exactly. Every person is unique, and therefore every relationship is going to be unique and different. But I do have tips that I feel like are universal that apply to anyone.
What we're about to discuss are just general tips. You really should be talking to your father confessor, your spiritual father, and I would highly recommend anybody to go through pre-marriage counseling with their priest, or if that's not available, with a solid therapist who is going to respect your family values.
Number one, and this also applies to women out there who are single, by the way. And this tip is essential at any stage, but I would say it'll save you so much grief before you even get into a relationship. And that is number one, reflect and assess yourself. You ideally want to come into a relationship being the best version of yourself. Take time to really think about what are your values, your goals, your strengths, weaknesses, and areas of improvement. What this means is think about your baggage. Think what kind of baggage you already have, your past traumas that you have, poor life decisions or choices that you've made, regrets, any current addictions that you struggle with, or be mindful of past addictions you've had, toxic family dynamics you saw. Because every family, we all seen some dysfunctional family dynamics. But especially if you've seen toxic ones, really take time to reflect on that and seek help to overcome these things. Don't feel ashamed to seek therapy if you have to, because yes, a priest can help you, but a priest can only do so much, quite frankly. And there's certain training that counselors and therapists will have that priest can't be a jack of all trades.
Yeah, before you get, forgive me, these extremely obsessive, pietistic comments that start going, oh, psychology's evil. Oh, you only need the priest because you get the... I'm going to stop you and say, look, the sacraments are quintessential. You can't hope to get better without Christ. That is the truth. But at the same time, they are not magic. I have had to work with people who are Orthodox Christians and have schizophrenia, or who have had post-traumatic stress disorder because they were in a profession such as the military, where they honestly needed therapy beyond that in order to cope with the problems. There are just sometimes people who, like I said, who have a proclivity or an actual disorder that need help. And in all reality, the sacraments and everything else are not going to override the free will. And sometimes God does permit struggle. And part of that struggle isn't just saying, well, I'm not going to treat the illness or the condition and just let myself degrade in it. Part of the struggle sometimes is having the humility to ask for the help, to go through the long process, and to come out the other side a whole and complete person in Christ. You have to keep Christ at the focal point the whole time. You should be going to confession, receiving the sacraments as much as possible, but there are limits to what each priest can do. All of us have different capabilities, backgrounds. We have to respect that. And so you can have your opinions and disagree, but in all reality, experience and of course, research would dictate otherwise. It's not demonic to get help learning how to rethink through your issues and recognizing patterns that belie problems that could destroy your potential marriage.
And it takes humility, by the way. Never be ashamed of that. More importantly, don't expect your spouse to fix your problems through the power of love. Sometimes people almost have this very naive understanding. They think I have these issues, but if only I found someone to love me, I would suddenly change. That's not going to happen. Love won't fix that. Your spouse is, quite frankly, not your psychologist or therapist. You want to come into a marriage to serve and be served in return, not just burdening your spouse with your unresolved issues.
Yeah.
In other words.
The one thing I will say, guys, seriously, if you are taking a long time to figure out if this is the one past 3 months, past 6 months, time to reassess what it is that you're trying to accomplish in the marriage? Why are you with this person? Because if this is not someone you can see yourself with for the rest of your life, if this is someone who is giving a lot of red flags or isn't respecting your faith, or you struggle to respect them, get out, and work on yourself a bit.
So number 2, communication. Work on communication skills. Many people think they have good communication skills, but to be frank, majority of us don't. This is something that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to become very proficient at, which means to learn how to express yourself in a healthy, concise manner by utilizing things like active listening, being empathetic, open, and understanding of your spouse's perspective. And not only that, not just only knowing how to express yourself, but knowing how to read others and how they're communicating verbally as well as non-verbally. And don't expect him to be a mind reader, ladies.
We're not that smart to begin with.
I fall into this too. I mean, I think everyone's guilty of this, but you can't expect your spouse to be a mind reader. And especially with men, from my experience, as well as, I'm sure you would agree, men like it when you're direct with them.
Just come right out and say it.
Not going all gangster and girl boss lady, but being direct and straightforward. I know we have a bad habit of saying, it's fine when we're upset. Men don't like that. They don't like this passive aggressive approach. It confuses them. It's better to be like, yeah, I'm upset because you said this to me and it hurt my feelings.
I guarantee you, if you do that, he will take what you're saying seriously. If he loves you, he will try to validate you. And if he struggles with that, work on it with him. Talk with your priest. Just give the opportunity to be understood. Don't just expect it to happen, but give the opportunity, the affordance for him to respond in a way that is going to foster that intimacy you're looking for. So,
if you're single, this is an easy one to do. You can practice with family, friends, colleagues. Like, the communication skills are always something you should always try to utilize in your day-to-day life and try to work on. And number 3 is conflict resolution skills. Again, this is a struggle we all have because of pride. Pride is always going to be the passion that's going to get in the way of resolving conflict. And as we know, pride is the hardest passion to uproot. So this means learning how to stay calm in situations where you're feeling tense, to be respectful and avoid blame shifting. That's a big one all the time. It's so easy when you get annoyed to want to automatically get into that fight, mode and be like, it was you did this, and therefore I'm justified in how I'm feeling.
And a lot of that can be avoided by following the second piece of advice that was given prior to.
Yes.
So, when in doubt, go back to number 2.
And, find solutions together when you get into a conflict. Try to work as a team because, like I said before, marriage is not this anymore. You become one unit. So you have to work together to find a solution. And, of course, be accountable. Part of avoiding the blame shifting, be accountable for your own actions and behaviors. One thing to keep in mind, ladies, men prefer to give solutions right away when there's a conflict. We're different. We like to express our feelings. That's very important for us. To any men out there who are watching, my advice would be to you, listen to your wife or fiance if she's upset about something. Don't invalidate her or put her down, or I know sometimes I will say you're being too emotional or whatever. Allow her to express herself and you don't necessarily have to validate if it's something really egregious that she's getting upset by, but say things like, I can understand why this is upsetting you.
And rather than screaming at him and saying, you're not validating my feelings, try to say, look, I know that you want to help me solve the issue because that's how you're showing me that you're acknowledging my distress, because you want to have a solution to it. Men don't offer solutions if they don't want to help. So try to come from the place of understanding that he is truly just trying to help you and love you. But rather than getting angry because he's not validating you, just say, right now, I'd be open to suggestions later, but right now I just really need you to listen to me so I can get this off my chest and get through it.
I wanted to just end off on this one, just saying, if you listen to your wife first and then offer the solution, she'll feel appreciated and be more open to listen to the solution. Okay, so number 4, be willing to compromise. Do not have the my way or the highway mentality, I wear the pants attitude, gangster, For one, not only do men find this highly unattractive, but it's just not feminine to behave this way. And it's quite frankly toxic in a marriage. There's a much more respectful way you can communicate things. And in a marriage, you do have to compromise. You can't insist on having it your way all the time, because if you don't, you can unintentionally end up being quite abusive to your husband if he's trying to oppose you in any sense and you just get angry with him all the time. That's not a healthy dynamic. I will, in the future, by the way, be making a video about addressing the whole girl boss kind of career mindset mentality.
Not to say you can't have a job. It's just basically the point is you got to keep everything within perspective. If you're getting to the point where you're forgetting what St. Paul had adjured women to, obey your husbands, when it comes to certain matters in the family, but husbands to love your wives as Christ so loves the church. Remember a couple things. God respects our free will. And at the same time, it's a position of sacrifice, right? The Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve. And so you have to remind yourself that you're not in the marriage to be served. You're in the marriage to do the serving. You being served will come as a consequence of you leading in a way that is going to be healthy and reflect the love of Christ.
So, step number 5, keep friendships with others who have similar values to you. They can be a great support. They will also come in handy, by the way, if, say, you're single, you have interest in a man. Those friends can give you lots of great insight and tips and advice, especially if they see red flags or concerning behaviors, or they're like, I don't know about this guy, or they could know certain things about his past and just give you a heads up. Really listen to friends' input when they tell you, I'm not sure about this one.
Yeah, and as well, especially I say this to guys, you want to be friends with the kind of men who are going to encourage the better aspects of you, because ultimately, even if you're in your early 20s, you're maybe you're fresh out of high school and you're starting to plan your life ahead. Maybe you're a little bit older and things just haven't panned out. You got to remember that it's never too late to change, and that you want to set the foundation or the pathway that is going to enable you to have the kind of life with your future spouse that you want to have. So make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who aren't, into things they shouldn't be, with substance abuse, or that are wasting their time playing video games instead of maintaining a healthy job. I'm not saying video games are bad. It's okay to have some recreation, but you got to keep everything in its place and time. And ultimately, you got to make sure that you're looking after yourself in such a way that you're going to be prepared for when marriage comes or the opportunity for it comes. So we've gone through the first 5 tips, and please check in soon for the second half, which will cover tips 6 through to 10, and hopefully be of great help to you all. I'd like to just quickly get the plugs out of the way, because it does help to please like, share, and subscribe for more content. It does help get the video into the algorithm. It's a big help to the channel. And also be sure to check the links in the description below, because we like to include not only links to the Patreon and to the Discord. Of course, the Patreon helps support us, especially while we're looking for work, but also for the fact that we like to include books and other materials in there that might be relevant or reinforce what's being talked about in the discussions, and that will hopefully be useful tools for you. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.